Here with Susan McGowan, the owner of this wonderful property here on Maple Street in Carrollton. And I'm terrible with numbers. Remind me the numbers.
328 Maple Street.
You think I remember that? Susan, you've done a fantastic job with this property, and I'm really excited for everyone to get a chance to see it. So tell us some of your favorite things about this project for you and kind of your journey with it.
This is the perfect place. It has so much personality. And I originally purchased it to create a healing center, which goes along with my work. And you know, these old houses just have a particular energy or, you know, character that you can't duplicate anywhere.
When was this house originally built?
It was built in 1890 by the Stevens family.
Wow, so that kind of explains a little bit, but you would never tell by being inside of it right now. It seems much, much newer than that. But it also has the character of an old home.
Yeah, so after we bought it, we had to replace pretty much every major thing had to be replaced. So it is, in a lot of ways, a new house.
Right. And
yet we still work to keep the character of the old, fine lady that she is as best as we could.
Definitely. So you mean things like roof, heating and air conditioning systems, electrical, plumbing.
Plumbing, sewer, yes.
And also, you made it accessible as well for a wheelchair. I think that's really
Yes, nice. It is now handicapped accessible as too.
Perfect. So there are 5 very large rooms here, as well as a kitchen, this big foyer room in addition to that, and 2 full bathrooms. So
yes.
Very neat property, and we're going to get a chance to show you guys some of Susan's favorite features and a lot of the charm that they were able to kind of maintain and leave here. So definitely make sure you come check this one out. It's very easy to find. It's almost diagonally across the street from the Maple Street Mansion. So convenient walking distance to downtown Carrollton. And it's got another really cool feature out back that I can't wait to show everyone as well.
Yeah.
All right, so you got to tell me and everyone else, I know I've already heard the story once and I love it so much, about this mantle and kind of what it means. Now, one thing I do want to say, this house has several fireplaces, but think about the year it was built, everyone heated with coal at that point in time. So coal is really no longer a viable option for heating a home. So the chimneys were all professionally capped off when we did the roof and everything. So these are all ornamental, but definitely a lot of history here. And you said this actually predates the house?
We had an antique specialist look at this after, by the way, we totally stripped it. It was painted white.
Okay.
And underneath the white was black paint.
Okay.
So after we stripped it all down, and then I had an antique person look at it, and they said they dated this as mid-1800s Pennsylvania Dutch. So it was probably brought here by the Stevens family after they built the house and then put in this place. It may have been a family heirloom of their family. I don't know.
It could have almost been an antique at that point in time.
Yes, yes, but the work in this, look at that.
Yes.
Look at just how beautiful that is, and this wood is just...
It looks like some sort of pine or cedar, do you know?
I don't know, but it is just such an incredible piece in and of itself.
Definitely, and it also remains here with the property, so that's another cool benefit of it. The things like the crystal doorknobs over here, the skeleton keys, check this out. These are really cool. Look at that. It's kind of stuff you don't see every day. Solid wood doors.
All of the closets have cedar in them.
Okay.
They were all built with cedar.
A lot of the glass. I like the fact that you kept the original windows.
Yes.
Because the character that's within them, the glass is sometimes weighty in some of those. I think that's a really cool feature that you just can't find anymore.
Yes.
That's kind of part of the charm of the house.
Exactly. All the woodwork and the details. It's just, yeah.
The wood flooring, I mean, it just keeps going and going. Wouldn't it be great if every home had a library in it?
Exactly.
I think that would be a really cool feature. Obviously, this is a really neat way that they've set this up, and I'm sure you got a chance to use it. I imagine you have several books yourself.
Oh yeah, you know, it has been so great. This is such a perfect place with all of this wood paneling and the wood ceiling to just curl up with a book and just enjoy the beauty of this old wood and.
Got a very warm feeling in the room, and also you got a lot of light too from the windows, and being able to see, you know, Maple Street, sidewalk to the university, sidewalk to downtown Carrollton. I think it's a really neat really neat feature, and I love that outside porch. Very, very large space for a kitchen. Obviously,
Yes.
You guys kind of left it very similar when you found the kitchen for the most part, with the older cabinets, which I think are still pretty cool, and the the heavy paneling walls. I think they're a neat feature as well. But full reign to do whatever somebody wants to make a custom kitchen, and we obviously priced it so that someone will have the ability to come in there and not feel so bad about making those upgrades and still having room for some equity in their home once they finished out with it. So right now the laundry room is located right here as well, but with having 5 large rooms plus the kitchen plus the foyer, there's plenty of options that people can do to make some expansions of changing things around, or maybe just reconfiguring a little bit if they need to suit their needs.
So back in 1890, master bedrooms were not really a thing. But this area back here would be now considered the master suite. So you have this open area here that could be an office area or sitting area. You've got the bathroom right here, and then the largest bedroom back here. And this bedroom has 2 closets, and the great beautiful windows and the plaster walls on one side, and then the paneling on the other side.
Another really neat feature, we talked about the fireplaces being there originally cold and they've been capped off, but there's some really neat technology with ventless gas logs now.
Yes.
And you guys have everything piped for, for basic propane. Is it?
It's propane right now, and so you can choose propane or natural gas. It's easy to change over whichever one. And so one of the upgrades that we did when we installed the propane is we put a tankless water heater out there too, so you'll never run out of hot water. In the fireplace areas, you could put ventless logs. You could also, in the library, if you wanted to set your own fireplace feeling in the library, you can do the same. As well as the larger bedrooms all have vents for, things for... What's that word? They're plumbed for.
There are cutoffs and connections for gas hookups throughout the house.
Yes.
And originally that was for just radiant gas heaters if you want to hook the heater in, or small fireplace, or gas logs, whatever you want to do. I think it's a neat feature. You guys went in and had all that reworked when you had the property. I think that's a neat way of having an alternate heat source, so that it makes it give you more options than just running the heat and air.
Yeah, because sometimes it's just nice to have that extra heat from a gas heater. It just feels different.
It does, and especially if you're just in one room, you want one room a little bit warmer than the rest of the house.
That's right.
So it's almost like the traditional zoned heating.
Yes, though the main system is also zoned. There are 3 zones on the main system in here as well, so you have that choice too.
And you also, I was noticing, have it wired for an alarm system as well.
Yes, alarm and security system, fire, it's all wired, ready to be monitored as well.
This is one of my favorite features of this property is your studio, and you want to show us?
Yeah, sure, let's come on in. So when we originally bought this place, this was a garage that we transformed into a yoga studio. And so it was part of what we offered here was yoga and belly dance classes. And at some point, I moved my office back here, and then we started using the main house as a residence. This space has been so much fun to have, and a lot of well-known in Carrollton yoga teachers started teaching yoga here. So one of the cool things about this property is that plants grow so well. There's some really unique plants here, and this is one of them. This is a hydrangea. It's a lace cap. I wish it were blooming right now. I actually purchased it in a pot, and it is a hothouse hydrangea that is not supposed to survive outside of a greenhouse or a hothouse. But at some point, I just decided to see what would happen in this incredibly rich soil. It's called a shooting star hydrangea, and the blooms are stunning. They're little tiny stars just showering out of this beautiful head. And once again, it's not supposed to grow outside, but here it is thriving for years. So this is another really cool plant that I put here. This is a traditional lilac that came from Wisconsin. And it was a gift to my dad by his secretary from her home place in Wisconsin. And my dad planted it at our home place in Carrollton, and then I transplanted a piece. And if you know anything about lilacs, you know that the traditional lilacs actually are not good in the Georgia climate and the humidity. But once again, this property, things just grow so well, and it has, you can see it's had its blooms already. Those beautiful purple, sweet, sweet blooms every spring. This house also has a lot of mature fruit trees. There are 2 apple trees here that are obviously very old. This one's a beautiful golden delicious, and the other one next to it is a red apple, just filled, as you can see. And then right over here, we have a blueberry bush, and which is also filled with blueberries, and a pecan tree. And here in the center, I created a meditation area, kind of similar to a labyrinth. And you enter in and then you walk around the circle. It's a very simplified labyrinth, and then you can go in the center and sit and meditate. We also have a fire pit here, which is a lot of fun to gather around with friends and family and enjoy a fire. So this place is full of great gifts of mature fruit trees, and there are actually 2 pecan trees, and there's a mulberry tree just behind us that's on the edge of the neighbor's property, but you can have all the mulberries you want.
Guys, thanks for checking out this new property, Dr. Susan, as I failed to mention in the beginning. And thank you so much for giving us this tour, letting everyone see kind of some of the care and some of the things that you've identified about this property and how it's worked so well for you. And hopefully this is going to be the right fit for the next buyer.
Yeah, we're so grateful to be able to hand off this house to some other wonderful people who will love and care for it like we have.